Super Mario Bros. 35 just released, and people need to figure out the meta. Here I'll give some quick tips to help you get competitive without much effort. Note that the meta is currently evolving, as the game just came out yesterday, but I'll try to keep it to obvious tips that should not change in the future. 1. Stop falling in pits. This is obvious. Most runs die to Mario falling in pits. There are two main ways to avoid this. First, whenever you come near pits, slow down to jump over them more carefully. And second, when you get a choice, pick stages with fewer death pits, like avoiding 1-3. On the topic of picking stages, tip number 2, always warp. I see a lot of people skipping the warp zone in 1-2 because the first time they went in, it only sent them to 1-1 or 1-2. The pool of levels changes as you go deeper into the game. Do not skip this warp. Tip 3. Prioritize warping to good maps. In general, the best maps to gain time and coins are 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, 3-1, and 3-2. You can pick harder maps if you want to be aggressive and send strong enemies to your opponents, but you should always prioritize staying safe and not dying over hurting your opponents. Tip number 4. Memorize the power-up locations and secrets. You need to know where these things are. You do not want to be freaking out in search of a mushroom when you find yourself swamped with Hammer Bros. You want to already know where these things are and stockpile them. Tip number 5. Stock up on money and time before you get aggressive. Late game, you'll need lots of time and money to survive the quick timeout and enemy spam. Grab those 1-ups and power-ups. Some maps, like 2-2, give access to really good enemies to send you to your opponents. But that map doesn't have any power-ups or enemies that you can naturally kill to gain time. Don't bother going to these maps unless you already have a stock of time and money. Tip number 6. Don't be running around as Small Mario. Not having a power-up makes you very vulnerable. You want to get into a safe position as fast as possible. Spend coins if you need to, just don't be Small Mario. Tip number 7. Kill enemies efficiently, especially Goombas. A lot of people try to focus on killing Goombas with stars or fireballs. While you can get time like this, what you're actually doing is sending your opponents tons of fodder that they can use to gain a big time advantage over you. If you're killing lots of enemies, prioritize killing them with a jump combo or a shell kick. That way, your opponents won't be benefiting more than you are. Tip number 8. Play defensively. Staying alive matters more than killing your opponents. This means that you should take your time in easy levels to rack up time. Don't speedrun easy stages. Tip number 9. You should speedrun bad levels. There's nothing for you to gain in 1-4 or 2-4 in terms of enemies or time, so you want to sprint through those stages as fast as possible for safety. Tip number 10. Know when to take bonus routes. So 1-1 has a pipe that everyone knows about to go through the stage. However, that pipe is normally a terrible choice because you're skipping a 1-up, several power-ups, and an easy stage. However, there are times where there's an army of Bowsers and Hammer Bros in front of me, and this pipe is an easy escape route to circumvent them. You need to know these alternate paths for situations like these, which appear a lot in the endgame. Tip number 11. Clear stages you do not own. So far, it appears that you will unlock any stage that you beat, so if you don't have a stage, beat it. Tip 12. Pick a good stage for yourself going in. I personally always pick 3-1 because it gives me lots of power-ups, time, and late-game enemy options. Picking a stage makes it more likely for it to show up for you. Tip number 13. Send your opponents enemies that are hard to deal with. In general, if it's convenient for you and safe for you to do so, you should definitely try to kill Piranha Plant, Hammer Bros, Bloopers, and Bowsers to send them to your opponents. This helps you close out games. Just don't get carried away and jeopardize your own safety. This should be more or less all you need to know. The meta for this game is still evolving, but I hope this guide still helps you out. I'll keep making Mario guides on this channel, so subscribe if you like that sort of content, and I'll see you around, guys. Later!